Hey guys, and welcome to this morning's live training. My name is Kristen Grindle. If we haven't met yet, I'm the OIDC at Mountain View, and for the Mountain View region, the feeder schools. I am joined by Freeman, who's co-hosting with me. He is also an OIDC at Mountain View. And then there's OIDCs from the other schools also in the chat. So thank you to them for being here. And feel free to as we go, ask any questions that you want in the chat. We'll also be throwing in some links and resources too. And the OIDCs will try and answer the questions in the chat. If it's something that I need to go back and show, then I'll do that when they tell me to. So here we go. So today we are looking at Canvas apps. So we're going to be looking at a few that are already installed in Canvas. So just show you how to use them really quickly and where to find them. And then there's a few that we like, some of our favorites that will show you how to install and access those ones as well. So the first one I want to talk about is the Google Drive apps. So now you can use this in an assignment, a quiz, or a page. You'll do it the same way. So in any of those places, you'll have this rich content editor toolbar that shows up. And the Google Drive and Google Apps are going to be used to embed any of your Google Drive documents, so the docs, sheets, or slides into a page. So it's an easy way to do that if all your stuff is already Google stuff. So where we're going to find this is all the way at the end in this little plug. Now, if you're more zoomed in, show you, then you might not see that plug at the end. Instead, you'll see these three dots. So you're going to click that guy, and that will open up all of the like hidden icons. And again, the last one is going to be the apps. So we're going to click on that. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. And that's going to open this window that has all of the already installed apps on it. So these are the ones we're going to talk about first. And you can kind of scroll through and see them listed there. So notice that there's two Google ones. So there's Google Apps and Google Drive. So I'm going to kind of lay out what the difference is and the pros and cons to each, I guess. So to access one of the apps, all you're going to do is click on the name. So this is the Google Apps one at the top of the list. And what this is going to do is open up basically a window into your Google Drive. You may have to do, if this is the first time doing it, there may be like an authorize button that you need to use to like allow it to connect. Once you do that the first time, you shouldn't have to do that again. Then what you can do is search for whatever assignment you want. So you can actually go into your folders, or you can type in a search here. So when you find the assignment that you're looking for, so this is a Google slide I'm going to show you first. You just click on it, and then you have two options to either embed or link. If you choose the link option, it literally just throws in like a little hyperlink for it. If you go back, show you the other one. If you choose embed, it's going to embed it right in there. So this is nice because when I save it, will embed whatever your Google slide was right into the page. Kids can then click through it. They can also do this. So I use it as like a calendar for my class so they can actually see each of the dates there. And then, yeah, so they can click through the whole thing like that. Now it does give them some options to make it full screen. It also gives them the option to open the speaker notes or open an editor. It'll give them whatever share settings you had prior to embedding. So if it is just like anyone with the link can view, then that's what they're going to get. So that's a page, or sorry, a Google slide. Now I do want to show you how this one looks a little bit different for Google Docs as well. So let me get rid of these guys. And we're still in this Google Apps option. So I'm going to go to a document instead. And choose embed. So you'll notice that this one is a Google Doc, so it looks different, obviously. And it has all the normal settings that you would see at the top. Now, because I'm the owner of this document, I can go in, once I hit save, and I can actually edit this document right here. So I can go in, you know, if a student says, oh, you misspelled whatever, I can go right in here and change it. Now, again, for the students, it's going to be view only for them. So they won't have the options to edit. It'll say view, but they can do the file, make a copy right from this if that was something that you wanted them to do. So that is one way that you can do that. Now, go back again. Just really quickly, if you can, like, when you're looking through, let me see if I can find these different icons. So notice this blue one here versus this one down here. So that's actually the difference, I think, between sheets and pages, or sheets and, oh my gosh, I can't talk this morning, sorry. The difference between a Google Doc and a Word document. Then you have PDFs. This one is an image. So you can kind of see what the different things are if they're Google Slides and so on, what the different things are. I think if it's in your Google Drive, it should work regardless of whether it was a Word doc or a Google Doc. But if you already have stuff as Word docs and they're not in your Google Drive, then you'll want to embed those a different way, not using this way. So that's Google Apps. This is the older way of like sharing and embedding things. So that's one of the cons to it. Some of the pros are that you do have those links and the edit abilities right in there. Now, the Google Drive is a little bit different. So how this shares with you, so first you're gonna get this page and make sure it'll say it's your account. You may have to sign in for the first time, and you're gonna choose this select a file. So it doesn't go right to your Google Drive, but after that button, now it will go right to it. So this one is essentially going to work similar. You choose the assignment, but notice you only have an add option. There's no link option anymore. So if I hit add, then it's going to give me this warning. I'll say to attach it. And now it's going to appear. So remember, this is that same document I showed you before. Now this time it doesn't have any of those header options. I can't edit anything here. Students can't either. So it makes this like view only version that they can scroll through. Now it does make a magical version in their Google Drive. So it will give them like a view only version. Just because they looked at it, it's going to magically appear somehow in their Google Drive. So it does still share a copy of it with the people that you are embedding. The same thing will happen with a slideshow. It'll be the same. They can click through it and the functionality is the same pretty much for there. It just doesn't have that option to link directly out to an assignment or to the document. You have to actually go into your Google Doc. So that's the main difference between the Google Drive versus the Google Apps. Again, I think there's pros and cons to each way, but it's an easy way if all of your stuff is already in your Google Drive to just embed your documents and slideshows or even your sheets right into a page or an assignment. Are there any questions before I move on to the next app type? We good?
There were quite a few questions. I think most of them are answered, but if there's something I missed, if anybody wants to get clarification now.
Yeah, just go ahead and shout it out if there's something you want me to go through.
So Kristen,
Yeah.
if I wanted the kids to write on the document and then turn it in later, is that a different system?
So there's a few ways you can do it. Like I said, they will get a copy in their Google Drives, but they would have to be trained on how to go find that probably. The easiest way without training, I think, is to, when you're in your drive, to just share the link with them as a view only. And so if you do like anyone with the link can view, just share the link with them and give them instructions to copy it. Yeah.
When I use Google Apps or want them to work on a Google assignment, I create the assignment and I have them turn it in using the external tool and select the Google from there. But one thing I am sure would be beneficial to everyone is if you train your students to use like a naming convention, so that when they use the document and you're checking the document in SpeedGrader, you're able to see almost immediately which students' work you're working on. Was that clear? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, that was, thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Sorry, my daughter came in the room and started talking to me at the same time. So I was, okay, so yes, that is a way, that's a kind of a whole nother way of doing things. So, and it does take a few, it's not super hard, but yes, there is a way to do that through the external tools. I can show that towards the end as well. Again, there's different options if you choose the Google Drive versus Google Apps for how, and there's pros and cons to that as well. The simplest without having to like learn anything new would just be to share the link with them and then have them submit the document in the normal submission type. But yes, if you do learn the Google Cloud assignments or the Google apps in the submission types, that is a way to give the kids a copy of the document as well. But it does take a little bit of a learning curve for both teachers and students on that end. But yes, thank you for that suggestion. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention with the naming of the files is, well, I guess if we talk about that at the end, I'll talk about it there. So did that answer, is everybody okay now?
There was a question about the time lag between what you, so if you've embedded the documents and you've worked on it in your Google Drive, like whether the updates happen in real time.
Yeah, it happens in real time. I mean, sometimes they might need to just refresh the page, but it's instant. There's no you don't have to re-upload. That is the other benefit to doing a Google Drive embed versus if you upload a document. So if you've been to any of the other trainings, we've shown you how to use the rich content editor in here to this guy here to upload documents. If you do that and then make a change, you have to go in and re-upload the document. So if you do it via Google Drive or the Google app, it will update in real time as you make changes, which is really nice. Yes, there was something else I wanted to say and now I can't remember what it was. So when it comes to me, I will mention it then, I guess. Any other questions? Oh, I just remembered. When you are doing the share options in your Google Drive, students are not in the same network as us. So if you do anyone at Mesa can view, the students will not be able to view it. You need to do anyone with the link can view because they are in their own separate network with that student's part at the end of their emails. So that was one thing that I wanted to make sure was clear for that. All right, so if there's no other questions with Google Drives and apps, then I am going to show you really quickly how to embed videos. So again, some of you might have seen this before, but again, we're staying in this plug over here. So if I hit that, I have a couple options for videos here. So there's either TED-Ed or YouTube. So if I click on TED-Ed, what that does is it pulls up a search engine for any TED-Ed video. And then you would see all the possibilities here, and you have this embed button. You also have this drop down that will let you change it from embedding to just putting a link, or you can change the size. So let's say I wanted to embed it large. I just click that, and now that video is embedded right into the screen. One of the perks of this is it takes away usually those commercials that you have to watch at the beginning. And then I'll also show you YouTube. Now, YouTube has been giving us trouble the last couple weeks, so occasionally it doesn't work, but let's see if it's working today. So sometimes it says 0 and then it just takes a minute to load. Sometimes it says 0 and then nothing ever loads, so, but most of the time it works. So notice I have those same button options here. I can just embed it and it's going to do a default, or I can make my choices. So let's say I wanted this one to be littler, and we see now I have a small option there. So the nice thing now is those are embedded right in the page. Students can just hit play to watch it, and they also have some options to like pop it out into a bigger screen too. So that's a quick way to embed videos if they are on YouTube or on TED-Ed. So the next thing I wanted to show you, if there's no questions for that, is Screencast-O-Matic. So Screencast-O-Matic is an app that you will have to actually install. It's on here because I've already installed it, but I'll show you how to install it in a second. You do have to make a Screencast-O-Matic account for this to work, but this is a way for you to make recordings. So this, it's very easy to use, and it's, you can make webcasts, you can go through a PowerPoint this way, you can walk your kids through your Canvas page, and you have some options. So if I hit new recording, it's gonna open, or make me download. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so when I hit new recording, it'll open up this screen recorder, and you have options. You can have it film your screen. You can have it film your webcam, which is gonna probably not work because I'm using my webcam to talk to you guys. Or you can have it do both. So notice in the corner here now there's like a little window, and you can move that around. So this would allow you to be in one of the corners and your screen to be in the rest of the corner. You can change the size of the screen. So right now it's showing like not the whole thing. So I can change this active window to be whatever size I want. I can also move it around. So if I want to cut out like my toolbar at the top, I often do that. Cut out the sides, or you can pick these default sizes as well. But then what's really nice is, whoops, is if I hit this guy here, and then all I have to do is hit this record button, and it's going to record whatever I'm doing up to 15 minutes. So it's pretty simple to use and then you just follow the prompts, you hit done when you're ready to go, and then you'll be able to embed it. So here I'll just show you one that I've already made and what it looks like in Canvas. So again, just like with the YouTube options, it's going to embed it right into the screen, and the kids can just hit play and watch it after that. So Screencast-O-Matic is really nice if you've been looking for a tool to walk your kids through anything or do just like a quick video. It does have a 15-minute cap, but it's really nice to use. If you need to install an app in Canvas, so I showed you the ones that were already installed, but what you do is go down to settings, and then you have all these different tabs up here, and you want to make sure you're on the one that says apps. So usually it defaults to whichever one you were in last, or it'll go to just course details. So if I click on apps, then it's going to show all the different apps that you can download into Canvas. Now I do want to warn you that some of these you need to have paid subscriptions to. So just because it's here doesn't necessarily mean it'll work, but you can download them there. So let me go. So for Screencast-O-Matic specifically, all I would do is find it, click on it, and then hit add app. Now this one does not require a consumer key or anything, so all I do is hit add app. And then you may need to refresh your page, but now in this new course, whenever I go to an assignment page or quiz, I'll have access in that little plug to my Screencast-O-Matic app. And since it's linked, I'd also have access to the videos that I've made in other places as well, or I could just make a new video right from there. So that was like a super fast version of Screencast-O-Matic. At this point, are there any questions? If not, I want to show you a few others. All right. So a couple others that need to be installed that a lot of people like are, the first one I'll show you is Flipgrid. So to install Flipgrid, so it wasn't showing up because I was clicked on the installed. I need to be on all or not installed to find ones that haven't been installed yet. So if I click on Flipgrid and I hit add app, it does ask for a consumer key. So we'll share the URL for that. So here's directions. I'll share that in the chat really quickly. And I'll walk you through though the basic steps right now. So what you need to do is in another tab, you need to open Flipgrid. So go to your account. If you don't have an account, you can make one really fast with just your Google login. It's pretty easy. But you go to the login, and once you're logged in, you'll see your name in the corner. You'll click that and then click on integrations. Now, I already made this integration earlier today. If for you though, you would hit add new integration, just call it Canvas, hit create, and then it's gonna pop up like this, and you'll have a consumer key and a shared secret. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it into the consumer key spot. And then I'm gonna copy the shared secret and paste it in here as well. Hit add app. And now I have the app installed in my Canvas account. For something that I've noticed, you do have to install apps into each specific course. So if I wanted this in a different class, I would have to install it again. I did have some trouble sometimes trying to use the same consumer key. So what I recommend is before you go into, so I've installed it here, before I went into another course, I just want to clear my cache and cookies in my in Chrome, and then use the same consumer key, and then it works beautifully. So to use Flipgrid in an assignment, let's go show you that really quickly. So I'm going to add a new assignment. We'll call it Flipgrid. Now, this app and then the next one I'm going to show you, you actually don't access through this plug here. You're going to access it through the submission type down here. And this is what we were talking about earlier with there's an option in here for Google Drive as well, where it actually makes it an assignment. So we're going to, in the drop down, we're going to change it from no submission to external tool. Then I'm going to click this find button and I'm going to go through the list and find Flipgrid and hit select. Now I'm going to put in how many points I want it to be, the dates, that sort of thing, but I actually don't do anything with the actual Flipgrid now. I'm going to hit save. And when I hit save, it's now going to load Flipgrid right in my page. So now I can go through and I can make an assignment, I can edit things, I can change everything, and you'll kind of be walked through the prompts as you go for how to do that right in here. The students will see the same thing. So let me show you on the student end what it looks like. Oops, sorry, I forgot to publish it. Oh, where did my assignment go? There it is. So let me publish that guy. So students will click on the Flipgrid and it'll look very similar to how it looks in normal Flipgrid. They'll have whatever you put in for the details, and then they'll get that big green plus button where they can then record a response. And the nice thing is they don't have to create like their own Flipgrid account or anything. It's just going to integrate with their Canvas account. So it kind of allows you to skip a few steps for that. So the other one I wanted to show you that also uses that external tool option is Turnitin. Now Turnitin is already installed on everybody's accounts, so you do not have to worry about doing any sort of install. But Turnitin is a way to check plagiarism. So all you have to do is the same thing. You'll go to Edit, go down to Submission Type, choose External Tool, and then go down to Turnitin. Right there, hit select, put in your normal, like whatever other settings you wanted in here. So I made this one due later this week. You can do available from until and your normal settings up there. Again, just like with the Flipgrid, we're going to hit save. And then when we're in our assignment now, we're going to see the Turnitin window. So as kids start turning things in, they're going to populate here. And you'll get that Turnitin report with the plagiarism percentage, excuse me, on each assignment. Now, one thing I want to point out with Turnitin is there's these setting options here that you can change. Excuse me. And these things are grayed out. You can't change the assignment name, score, or due date from here. You have to go into the normal edit assignment settings there. But an important thing to check is in the optional settings, it defaults to not allow late submissions. So this is something you want to make sure you go in and check and then hit submit. That way students can turn it in after this due date. It will notify you that it's late, but if that button isn't checked, it like totally disables things for the kids and they can't turn anything in at all. So you do want to check that. The dates that you can alter in here are the start dates and the release date. I really recommend only messing with this release date here. That's just when they're going to get the feedback. So whenever you want that to be, they'll get it. All right, so I think I saw someone ask me to like kind of walk through how to do the Turnitin thing again, how to set it up. So in any assignment, you can do this. So it does have to be an assignment, not a page. You're going to go down here to submission type. Now it defaults to no submission. So you're going to click the drop down, choose external tool, And then we're going to go hit find. This is where all the apps that you can use as external tool submissions are going to be found. So that there's Flipgrid, we talked about that before. We're going to scroll down to Turnitin, looking for it. It's all in alphabetical order. So I click on Turnitin, hit select, and that's it. So now I just have to go hit save, and now that assignment has to be submitted through Turnitin. So there are other apps that work really well in Canvas. Those are the main ones I wanted to highlight today. So if there are any questions on any of the ones that we mentioned, or I can show you the two Google ones that were mentioned earlier, just let me know. Freeman's going to share with you the PD link. So if you want credit for being here with us today, then you can fill that out. But yeah, we'll open it up for questions now. Yes, you can ask a question about an app I didn't show, and I will try and answer it if I can, or I'll see if anyone else can answer it. You're welcome to those who have said thank you. Does anybody want to see the Google submissions?
Real quick, Teresa, Turnitin doesn't work with OneNote, at least not through Canvas.
What type of documents does Turnitin accept? Will it take like PDFs and
Yeah,
it takes like Word and it takes Google Docs?
Yeah, but it's got like a character count that's necessary. So if you're using an image version of a PDF and there's not enough characters in it, then it won't accept it.
Okay. Yeah, I remember
I
looking at that
found
the other
that
day.
too, but if they export it as a PDF, and then they have to type like one sentence, like you say, Freeman, in the comment box or in the RCE, and then it should run through, I believe. Canvas somehow makes it, yeah, it can't read any of the characters. So as long as they type a sentence, like a silly whatever sentence, I think it will work.
But then how would it check for plagiarism? Because it would just, so I thought I had to be a document.
Yeah, if I'm remembering when we tried to do that with, because Freeman, we had that issue in one of your classes, didn't we? Where some kids were submitting as a PDF, it wasn't reading. The ones who had typed something in OneNote before they like exported it, it did read, but I don't think it did a plagiarism check on them. So I think you had to have it as like a Word or a Google Doc.
Oh yeah, okay, so then you can just export it as that from your OneNote page. So I think it should work in OneNote just like it would work in Word or Docs.
Okay,
so thanks. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Okay, so Ruth, you're good, right? Is that what I'm? I have a lot of. There's a huge stream of things that are private and public.
Okay, so here I'm looking at a couple. So Quizlet, I can't find it in Canvas anymore. I tried to look and figure out why and couldn't find a good answer. So yes, there used to be a really cool Quizlet app that I used. I'm not sure where it went. So unfortunately, if I can find a better answer, I'll definitely share it with everybody. But that's there. The differences between using Google Apps or Google Drive after you hit the little plug button. So Google Drive is gonna, so also include some like pros and cons, I guess. So the Google app is, wait, now I'm gonna get myself confused. Let me go back and click on them. I don't want to say it wrong. All right, so the first one in the list is Google Apps. So that one's gonna pull up your normal Google Drive right away. It's also going to allow you to edit things right in Canvas. It still gives a share, like a read-only version to the students. The con is sometimes we have authorization issues. Kids can get stuck in like an authorization loop and never really seem to get out of it. If they're signed into their Chrome with like a personal account, even if they're signed into their email and another link, it tends to give some problems. But you know, it does have a few nice features, like you can edit it right in there, like I said. So that was Google Apps. The second one, Google Drive. This one's gonna require, you can't do just a link. You have to go into, it's only gonna embed. It does give them a copy in their drive, but you'll have to show them how to find that, or you'll have to separately include a share link if you're wanting them to like edit something. If they're just viewing it though, then the Google Drive is really nice because you don't have that authorization issue. It's just going to be embedded right on the page, but there's no controls for you either. So if you need to edit something, you actually have to go back into your drive to edit it. So hopefully that answered that question. Someone mentioned that StudyMate is similar to Quizlet, and yes, that's true. And you can actually import your Quizlets into StudyMate. So StudyMate is another Canvas app it's located in your navigation menu. So when you click on that, it's gonna first walk you through some tutorials. You can tell it to stop doing that, and then you can create new projects. It actually has games and stuff in it too. And like I said, you can import some Canvas or some Quizlet, your Quizlet stuff in there. It's not like, it takes a few steps to import it, but you can definitely do that in there. Are there any other ones that I haven't addressed?
We've had a few people ask for EdPuzzle.
EdPuzzle, I'm not super familiar with, so I haven't used that. Have any of the other OIDCs used that one?
I have.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I can talk about it. So for I'm Sarah Baum. I'm one of the OIDCs for the Mesa High region. So basically for EdPuzzle, it's similar to what was the one that we were doing before? Oh, Flipgrid. It's similar to Flipgrid. So you do have to create an account in EdPuzzle before you do anything, because you need the secret code and the consumer key. So do you want me to share my
Sure.
screen, Kristen?
Yeah, okay. I'll stop sharing.
Okay. So when you have to log on and create an EdPuzzle an account, and then what you would do is, in order to get the consumer key, you have to go to the little circle profile and then your name, and it'll default to this. And so you just click school, you scroll down, and then this is where you get the consumer key and secret code. So Canvas. And so like what Kristen was showing you, you had to go to Canvas, you search for EdPuzzle. And I've already installed this in my class, but it's the same process. You would just click Add App, and then you'd have to go back to EdPuzzle. Sorry. Get the consumer key and the secret or shared secret, and then that will put it into your class. And then while you're still in EdPuzzle, that's where you have to decide on what videos you want to do. So these are some of the videos that I found. And so this is really important. You have to have videos in that belong to you or that you're going to use, because when you go into an assignment, so I'll just create an assignment.
Hey, Sarah, Mark is concerned with compliances with COPA and FERPA popping up. Do you know anything about this?
I did see that. I don't think that we need to be worried about it since the district is allowing this app. I think they've looked through it and made sure that everything is compliant. I wasn't worried about it. I just continued to click through because I've heard a lot of other teachers who have just used it and they use it a lot. So I wasn't concerned. I don't know who you would talk to for that answer specifically.
Yeah,
So,
do students have to have accounts for this to use it, or is it?
no, because it's embedded into Canvas again. So they just go into Canvas and then they get to watch the video and answer the questions that you put in. So the same thing, you can write down like the instructions, do points, and then for the submission, you would do external tool. You'd locate EdPuzzle. And then this is where you can pick the video that you want to do, I think. Okay. Yeah, so you click it and then you click assign. You can make sure that the kids can't skip ahead. And then you can also turn on the CCs. So you do sign or assign. You can do the due date available until, and then you would just click save and publish.
So if they answer the questions, can you see it through SpeedGrader?
You cannot. This is the one thing that's kind of annoying about it is you have to check to see if the kids have actually submitted it. And so these are all my students, and you can see that they've never watched the video. But if they're watching the video, that changes. So it'll either say complete or it'll say halfway done or whatever it is. And then you can actually grade while you're in this screen. So that's kind of cool. Like you don't have to go to EdPuzzle at all to do any grading. It shows up here and it's pretty quick as you're going through it because it breaks it up by student and by the question. So let's see if we can show it what it looks like. Student view. So this is what the students would see on their end. Oh, it's not going to work because I don't have a student account. But anyways, this screen would just show the video and they would just click play. And then as this video was going through, it would stop if you have questions and they would answer the question and then they would continue on with the video. So my students liked it a lot when they had to do it. I've only done it once, and so that's where I learned a lot of this. But I know
Can you
yeah.
Can you go back and show them where you grade it?
Yes. So you would just go into that assignment And then this is the screen. Let's see, I did one at the very beginning of the school year. So this is what it looks like. So it splits up. So these 3 students have never watched it. And I have the kids who they started to watch it, but they haven't finished it. And it just keeps going on. And so you can see that this kid watched the entire video, but didn't get all the answers correct or questions correct. And so I can reset the progress. Like if I wanted to have the kids have to redo it, I can have them reset the video. So then they have to start from the very beginning. Wish I could show this a little bit better. It's harder when you don't have students in there, like doing it at the, like, well, going on at the moment. So that's what EdPuzzle is, or what I've used it for. Yes, you do have to grade it if it's a short answer. It'll pop up here where you'll see just this first question, like question 1, and then you'll see the student's response. And so usually along this side, it says either a check mark, meaning they got 100%, or an X, meaning they got it wrong. And then there's a box up above it where you can actually type in a number. So if I was like, you know what, they kind of got it, I could give them half credit. If it's multiple choice or matching, true, false, then it automatically grades it for you. I'll stop sharing. Any other questions? Used one with, yes, I have used one with open responses. So, sorry, a dog is getting another dog. So in that same screen that you were in, or that I was in, it shows all the options, or the question options, answers, sorry. So all the answer options that they have will show up right then and there. And it splits it up by question. So all of question 1 is going to be put together, questions 2 are going to be put together, and so on and so forth. So you would definitely do it in Canvas. Yeah, I like it. Any other questions? Okay.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Any other questions in general?
And did you find out where to find StudyMate?
For me.
Thank you.
All right. If no one else has any other questions or doesn't want to show us anything, show you anything, and I think we're good to go. Thank you for being with us today.